All right, let's start. 11:08 a.m. on the 8th of April. Today is the Wednesday. It's been a couple of days since I've been stuck at home already. I'm on a new mission. For as long as I'm stuck at home, I'm not going to shave. So we're going to see what happens after 30 days. No haircut, no shave. We'll see what happens after 30 days. So you can expect that the videos will get worse and worse and worse, I guess. So today we will be looking at a specific currency pair as we had been for the last 2 days. Monday, I looked at the Aussie and the Kiwi. Tuesday, I looked at the Euro dollar and also the Euro pound. So today I'm looking at the pound, going through some questions and looking at the analysis of the currency. I received some questions from students as well. After watching this video, they texted me or they left it in the chat to asking questions about their own trading as well. So I encourage you to, if you have any questions, even if you can't think of it right now, leave it in the chat, leave it in the Facebook group, send us a message, send us an email. I will look at it. If I know the answer, I'll tell you the answer at the next video. If I don't know the answer, I'll think about it a little bit more before I tell you at the next video. All right. So I really want to not just help you in terms of planning your trades on a daily basis. I also want to help you progressively improve your trading if you have any trading related questions. Obviously, if it's a little bit too technical, you know, like I have to go into screen share and look at your trades and all that kind of stuff, then probably we'll do a one-to-one call. If it's something broad-based, psychology, mindset, things to avoid, things to take note of, then we can do it at one of these calls as well. Okay, so let's get to it. Today we're looking at the pound. Well, before I get into that, if you have any questions during the analysis, put it in the chat. We have Daniel, we have Kenneth, we have Jinwei, we have Jonathan, who are all here. They'll be watching the chat as well and letting me know if there's any questions, and they'll be also answering some questions and giving the review as well. I've got a little bit of a surprise that I'll do later. All right, so make sure you pay attention because you don't want to be caught out by that surprise. Now, let me bring up my chart. Okay, so I have the pound US dollar here. If you can see, give me a thumbs up. All right, cool. So pound US dollar here on the daily time frame, you know, we have seen, well, pound US dollar has really been all over the place, right? It's actually been quite hard to really figure out where is it trying to go. But we know that the overall direction is what? Put it in the chat. I want this to be a bit more interactive. Put it in the chat. Overall direction, do you feel it has been going in a daily time frame, going down, going up, or moving across? What's your view? Kind of goes across, swings across, down, 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 across, down. Anyone else? Across, across. Okay, so I would say down because of the most recent big drastic move downwards in March. Is that big drop in March? I know why you're saying across, because you see that since August and September, back then it was here, and now in April we're still at almost the same point. You feel that it's gone across, but you know, look at the overall view. It's actually been, I feel that it's actually been coming down. It's set across, and after it came strongly down again, bounced up a little bit in the scheme of things, bounced up a little bit before it looks like it's trying to go lower again. So how I look at the pound in this sense is it's been going down, but it's not as drastic, right? So it's not one of those scenarios where I'm pretty sure I've told you all before, some scenarios, some currency pairs where I would almost tongue-in-cheek say, you know, I'll just close my eyes and just keep selling. This is not a situation where you close your eyes and keep selling. This is a situation where you expect it to be dropping, but you're looking, you have to really pay attention for opportunities to sell, because as quickly as it goes down, it can shoot back up again, do a quick retracement upwards before continuing downwards again. Okay, so still looking for selling positions, selling probabilities, but it's not going to be as straightforward as we expect. So based on this, put in my lines again, same thing I'm always doing. Straight away even on the daily chart, I'm putting the big broad-based lines. This one's I know, hey, it's 1,950 over pips away, has to have something else. I'm going to put something there because of these points here. I'm going to put something maybe somewhere here because of these points here. Even this is really wide apart. This is 600 over pips apart. This is 700 over pips apart. Okay, while I'm rattling away, I realize that I'm on my fourth cup of coffee today now. It's 11 a.m. on my fourth cup of coffee. If I'm going too quickly, let me know. All right, tell me to slow down. If not, I'll just keep rattling on. This is recorded anyway, so you can always watch back again. So on the daily chart, I'm looking at this as my 1, 2, 3, 4 support resistance lines, my boundaries of where I think the prices, highest and lowest point where the prices can go. Looking at it in a 4-hour chart, where we normally pay more attention to, if I move that a little bit, in a 4-hour chart, we're looking at pound being at a support level right now, right? Pound is at I would say they're at a support level right now. If I made this a bit of a zone, it probably looks like that. It's at a support level right now. So something to be wary of. If it is at a support level right now, do you expect it to break or do you expect it to bounce off? What do you think? Do you expect it to break or do you expect it to bounce off? Break downwards or bounce back upwards? Put in the chat. So I have 1, 2, 3, well, some people say depends, 4, 5, about 5, about half. Some people are saying half, because some people are saying break down, some people say bounce up. At this point, so I actually like, I think Lewis has caught on to my style of questions. He goes, depends. Yes, it's going to depend, right? On the H4 time frame, it's sitting at a support. The past couple of weeks has dropped down already. Now it's bounced back up, it's sitting at a support level. What's going to make it break? There has to be a stimulus. There has to be either an economic stimulus or economic news or a data that's going to bad data that's going to make it break lower, or something positive that's going to make it bounce upwards. Okay, so on that note, when we start talking about economic data, news, or good or bad news, we have to look at Forex Factory. So let me get to Forex Factory now. Can you see my Forex Factory? Give me a thumbs up if you can. Okay. So looking at Forex Factory now, so Tommy asks why. Okay, you asked why we have to look at Forex Factory, I think. Looking for the stimulus, looking for if there's any drivers to push, why is it going to likely go higher, or, okay, why is it going to go lower? So looking at today, is there any pound news? Not significant pound news. Apart from the 10-year bond auction, not significant pound news that we're going to pay attention to. Tomorrow, nothing significant again. We have some pound news here, but these are not things that are really going to drive prices to break or to bounce off that level. We have CAD, which we'll talk about on Friday. We have Euro, which we have. And then we have Friday, where we don't really have any pound news as well. In fact, a lot of places are on holiday because of Good Friday, right? So because of that, there's not going to be much economic stimulus or economic information that's likely to push pound prices significantly lower or significantly higher. What is likely to push prices higher or lower in this scenario? There's only one thing that's going to push it higher or lower. That's the impact of the virus. All right, the impact of the virus. Kim Hong was prompting me, remember talk about Bojo. I had no idea what Bojo was. I realized it was Boris Johnson. What we have seen is that despite news coming out of Boris Johnson's illness, being hit by the virus, it has not really affected the pound as much, right? Whether it came out with, when it first came out that he was in intensive care, or now that they say that his condition is stabilized, it hasn't really impacted how the pound has been doing. It's not going to be just because of one person. It's going to be the overall scheme of things. It's going to be how the virus has affected the whole economy rather than it's affected one person. Sounds quite bad, but before Boris Johnson, they really changed prime ministers so quickly anyway. So I'm not so focused on one person. We're looking at the overall scheme of things. The situation of the virus is going to impact on employment numbers. It's going to impact on the GDP. It's going to impact on claimant count numbers. All those things are going to play a part in terms of what happens with the pound. So what I actually see is likely to happen, I know your questions there, I'll come back to that. What I see is likely to happen is we might actually see the pound sit quite quietly in this support level because of a bit of a lack of a driver to make it go higher or lower. And then we could see that on Friday, there are some US news. It's likely to be quite a bad number again from the US. So we could see it move up a little bit, right? Let me move that, be more accurate, move it up a little bit later stage. Most likely for now, it's going to sit quietly across that level before moving up higher. But at this point, I don't actually anticipate that this is a pair that I'll be very interested to be trading with, right? Because of how quiet it's likely to be and how the movement of the pound is not likely to be driven because of strong economic news. It's really those, I refrain from saying it's very intermittent data because of the virus, but it's really the virus kind of sentiment kind of news. So what's going to happen is a number comes out, bad GDP is going to happen, and then you see a big fluctuation. And once you see a big fluctuation, it's outside of Bollinger Band, it's going to come back in again. So you're going to see that kind of volatility. You're going to see it bounce up and down quite significantly. All right. So Srin's question, Friday's CPI for US dollar data is lower than expected, which will cause pound to shoot up. Yeah, it's likely to be lower than expected because the US is also heavily influenced by the what was I going to say? Influenced by the virus. So we could see that happening, but from our previous discussion in the Traders Club, we were posting up charts saying that a lot of times we see, just last night we were talking about the pound yen shooting up, and then it was outside of Bollinger Band. I was quite happy that quite a few of our guys was chatting and discussing about that currency pair, and everyone was looking at the same pair, and everyone knew that it was a good time to get out because it was outside of Bollinger Band. The conditions were right, and we not only spotted the right trade to get into, we spotted the right time to get out of that trade as well, right? So because of that, the CPI data will probably shoot pound up a little bit, but not significantly. Tommy asked about OPEC. OPEC oil, I will talk about on Friday when I talk about CAD. At this point, there will be some influence from OPEC onto the pound, but I don't actually think it'll be significant. So we'll leave the OPEC discussion till Friday. All right. So I just wanted to actually give a good shout out to everyone in the Traders Club. If you were in a Traders Club, give me a yes in the chat. If you were following the pound yen trade in Traders Club, give me a yes. Yes. Good. There are quite a few people in the Traders Club here. I'll give you I want to share with you that about the Traders Club. Let me see if I can find it. All right. If you can hear my kids crying outside, just ignore it for now. All right. So this is the Traders Club. It's a private club where all our newer students are in, right? So can you see my Facebook there on the Traders Club? Thumbs up if you can. Okay, cool. Thanks for that, Kenneth. So, we're sharing all of the links here as well. We did all the currency calls here, the weekly webinars that we do every Monday with a panel of analysts to discuss different currency pairs is shared only here. We share it publicly to 1 week later. So public gets it 1 week later. Only people in the Traders Club gets it live. So let me find that trade we were talking about. There. So Ho-Soon is one of our students talking about the pound yen, entry, stop loss, take profit, asking for comments. So I'm there. This was at 14 hours ago. So you will count. This was in the middle of the night. We're talking about trades, going through the 5 steps, all the reasons to enter a trade. Roy was looking at the same trade as well. And then we have, where is it? Roy was looking at it. Who else was looking at it? Howard's in this chat as well. Howard was looking at the same trade, got out of 25 pips. So as much as you can, I would really love for everyone. We got 26 people in this chat, myself included. So I really hope that everyone's in this Traders Club where you really will be in the private space and we can really be sharing trade ideas, sharing possible not just trade ideas, but when to get in, when to get out, reasons why we get in, why we get out. We run different polls. We have all our watch list analysis is there. This analysis is free, but the watch list is not, right? All the other reasons why we get into a trade is not. Some of you might even be receiving some of you are even receiving signals on our Telegram chat. But if you want to blindly follow the signals, get onto the Telegram chat. If you want to follow the signals and know why you're getting into a trade, understand the whys rather than just getting into a trade, we have it here. Daniel writes up his analysis of why he gets into a signal, why he sends out the signal rather than just following a signal thinking that it's by luck we anyhow signal a trade and hope that it makes money. There are specific reasons, systems, logic behind every trade that we do. All right. So if you're not in the Traders Club yet, reach out, get into the Traders Club. It's gonna make you more profitable. I'm pretty sure that anyone in this chat will tell you that as well. So now let me get back my chart. Okay, I wanted to. Can you see my chart again? Thumbs up if you can see my chart. Thank you, Kenneth. I'm only counting on Kenneth to give me a thumbs up. No one else is giving me thumbs up anyway, so only one guy. All right, so I wanted to do a recap on just what else we've been talking about, right? And as we progress along, this video is going to get longer because we recap on all the different currency pairs we've been talking about for the past couple of days. Aussie. I actually said that it will go up to around this point before coming back down. It went further than I expected, but it did go to our resistance level. So this is another reason why having a resistance level, you see me draw the levels. You know, I'm not very pedantic about where I put it. It's really just a bam, rough line. I think it should be somewhere there. It's gone up to that level, hit it, break. It's trying to come back down now. Okay, so it's trying to come back down at this point. Do I think it's going to go all the way down or not? I don't think so. We'll look at it later on. New Zealand US dollar was quite interesting because they came up with a surprise policy where they printed more money. So I posted that link in the Traders Club as well with the analysis that they increased asset purchase by 3 billion, but it's only 3 billion out of a 30 billion asset purchase program. So it's only a 10% increase. That's why we haven't seen that significant drop when a QE happens. So asset purchase is QE, so we haven't seen that drop when it happens. Euro has actually, we talked about this yesterday, performed as we expected. You know, I said as it breaks out of this level, we didn't know whether it's going to break higher or lower, but as it broke out of the level upwards, we were expecting to risk, you know, maybe about 50, 60 pips to try and make 60, 70 pips, and that happened exactly. Broke out of that zone, went to the next resistance level. It's currently at the resistance level now. Is it likely to turn back down? Not sure yet. Give it a little bit more time for that move to develop. Euro pound on the H4 has done exactly the same thing that it did yesterday, which is nothing at all, right? It has, if I zoom it in a little bit more, you can see Euro pound for the whole couple of days has just been dojis up and down, dojis here, dojis there. It doesn't know what it wants to do. If you are trading the Euro pound right now, you would be very afraid because you would have got into a trade and it would just be sitting there right now. So that's why we also said yesterday, nothing much happening in the Euro pound. And the pound US dollar probably going to sit there before going up a little bit on Friday when the US news comes out. All right, so that's just looking at the charts. Let me just refer to that question that Franco sent out to me. Okay, so Franco reached out, and I've known Franco for a very long time. I've seen his trades. He's won the trading competition before. He's traded very well. He's traded very badly as well. You know, I'm sure he's okay with me saying that. Let me just, how do I unshare? Okay. You know, so Franco has been trading for quite a long time. One of the questions he asked is, how do you take emotions out of the picture? All right. A lot of times the emotions screw up the trades. So how do you take emotions out of the picture? I'm sorry to say, Franco, there's really no way to take emotions out of the picture. The only way you can take emotions out of the picture is you remove that, okay? But it's really about minimizing emotions. How do you minimize the emotions? You have a mechanical system, a very structured, formal mechanical system for every trade that you do, right? That's why I did the 5 steps, and I always focus on the 5 steps for you guys. Is every time you want to enter a trade, have a reason why you get into a trade. A lot of times you enter, most people who lose money will enter a trade because the market is shooting up, they're getting excited, they jump into a trade. And after you jump into a trade, what happens? You regret, right? So have a mechanical method, have a reason why you enter a trade. It will not be emotionalist, but it will be a little bit more structured. You have a little bit more reason why you're getting into a trade. Okay. Then what do you do to stop yourself from doubling down or moving stop loss when the trade is not in your favor? I think the simplest way is just to keep telling yourself, don't do it, right? But I know that's not going to help. How do you stop yourself from doubling down? Really having that. Well, Jonathan's going to have some handcuffs around. I don't know handcuffs for what though. Right? Take your mouse away, right? It's I think it's a lot about mindset. It's a lot about mindset in terms of your expectation. Knowing that, trusting the method to go, hey, I know that using the 5 steps, I'm going to win 70% of the time. Let's be a bit conservative and say that we're going to win 70% of the time, right? So even if I lose a trade now, when do you feel like you're going to want to double down? Is when you're losing trades. The next trade you want to double down to try and make more. Understand that your trading is never going to be 100%. Understand that you're not going to focus on that 30% or even 40% of trades that you're going to lose. Focus on that 60, 70, or 80% that you're winning, right? Because when you start thinking of the 30, 40% that you're losing, you start thinking, I'm losing that, I need to make it back. And when you need to make it back, you try and double down. You refuse to close your trade. You move your stop loss higher because you don't want to lose that trade. So understanding the strategy, understanding the method that it's never going to be 100%, that you have to accept that risk and take it as the next trade. Hey, I've lost this trade, I'll take the next one. At exactly the same reasons why I go through the 5 steps of why I get into a trade. It cannot be, I lost this trade, I'll get into the next one twice as hard, twice as fast, right? Get into the next one with exactly the same mindset that you got into the first trade as well. Then you see, as your approach gets more consistent, your results will get more consistent. And on that sense, I also hope that it means more consistently better rather than, consistently worse. So your approach needs to be more consistent, as in 5 steps, same expectations, and then you'll see the results get more consistent as well. All right, Franco, I don't know whether you're still listening. Does that answer your question? You can unmute yourself and give me an answer as well if you want. Wait, is Franco still here? Yes, he is. Okay, don't have mic. Okay, good. Any other questions from anyone else? I really like these questions. If you have any questions, I'll give you the very rare opportunity to unmute yourself and ask the question instead of typing it. Anyone?
Okay, Yongjin, what's the question about your course?
Okay. So Yongjin's question about your course not on trading. Any online course coming up? Yes, there is an online course coming up. I think quite a couple of you have signed up for it. We were working twice as hard to try and get it out until we couldn't be in the office anymore. So I'm working on it. I'm still doing the filming. We will be sending that out to you guys for the online course. You will be my test bunnies for that. It is open to everyone. The first part of that course is going to be open up to everyone. I want to get as much feedback as I can from all of you. But Yojin, don't worry, you will be included. You're one of the good guys, so you will be included. Launch dates, let's say in a couple of weeks' time. Now that I'm stuck at home, I'll have a bit more time, hopefully. Michelle asks, will I be looking at other instruments like crude oil, gold, indices? Yes, Michelle. Tomorrow at 11 a.m., we're looking at yen and gold. So US yen, pound yen, euro yen, and also gold. On Friday, I'll be looking at CAD and also oil, crude oil. I probably will not be looking at indices right now, but in the back of my mind, I do have plans for indices and specific stocks that I want to share with you and ideas that I want to share with you as well. But we will be between Jinwei, Daniel, Kenneth, Jonathan, and I will be talking about that later at 12 o'clock. So we'll have that plan developed and then we'll get you guys on board for that. Any other questions? Is there any fun quiz portion to test our understanding in the online course, boost our learning? But if you're volunteering soon, if you're volunteering, I don't mind that you can develop one for me. Fun quiz. I don't know. Jinwei, is there a fun quiz? Okay.
Yeah, we can try to put in one if it's highly in demand.
Only one person has asked for it, so we'll figure out.
Anyway, sometimes we have polls, polling some questions and kind of stuff. I will encourage everybody to yes, no, just don't say yes or no. You know, I'll try to make some questions related to like recently I put out, hey, what do you think of oil price? Don't just do yes or no or just choose. Why don't you just type up some of your comments, and then we can also have a discussion on your understanding. And you know, Jean can come in, I can come in, Kenneth, everyone can come in, and we all can discuss about it. And I think it's a real good learning from there. Okay, I'm not sure it's fun, but it's a good learning.
Every learning is fun. Come on. All right. So Robbie asked the question: how can we place support resistance zones when trading minor pairs like pound yen? Find it hard because the candles at H4 are around 50 to 80 pips. So Robbie, let me tell you about pound yen tomorrow. Deal? Okay, because it's a yen pair, we'll talk about it tomorrow. If not, I'll run out of things to talk about tomorrow. Anything else? Okay, let me just do a quick check. Give me a moment. Let me check something. Okay, so let me share that again. I encourage as many of you, if you can, this is the Traders Challenge. As many of you, if you can, you know, join up with the Traders Challenge. You know, there's a cash prize to it. It's only for our within our student group as well. So we've seen students make pretty good returns. First weekend is already a 20% return. So Robbie is still in the running as well. Robbie won last month. So I'll look to see more of you participating in this Traders Challenge so that we can actually, actually get a good idea of how your trading is going as well. Because right now, whatever I share is quite one way. Okay, so make sure you get onto the Traders Challenge on the SamTrade accounts. Okay, so now let me pick on who has a mic. Let me see. Howard, are you available? Are you there? Hello, Howard. Okay, Howard's not available. Okay, everyone's gonna tell me they have no mic on. Okay, so Ty, I know you got your headphones on, so I know you're available. You gotta unmute yourself. You gotta press space bar to unmute yourself. Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna pick on you. I'm gonna pick on you now. Tell me about your trading journey so far, and also what is the one hurdle that you are currently encountering and something I can help you, maybe try to help you solve?
Yeah, it's like what the earlier said, that revenge, trading revenge, that is quite uncontrollable.
Okay, so how have you felt that you have you been entering bigger than you expected or than you should, or have you been entering more than you should?
Trying to move the stop loss up accordingly, but at times it straight away hit the stop loss. So it's loss actually.
Okay, so one reason why a lot of people encounter that they end up moving their stop losses is also likely because that they have put their stop loss too near, right? When you first enter a trade, you say, hey, I want to risk as little as I can to try and make as much as I can. And then you put your stop loss very near. And the first time it shoots up, it hits your stop loss, you lose. The second time it shoots up very quickly, hits your stop loss, you lose. The third time, what's going to happen? As it's going up, you're going to move your stop loss higher. As it's going up, you're going to move your stop loss higher. So a lot of times is when people and traders look at their trades and the first trade, so this comes back to being consistent with your approach, right? A lot of times traders look at it and go, I want to risk as little as I can. So their approach is going to be different every time. They want to risk as little as they can, but then once it shoots up, they move it higher. So approach is different again. Every time their stop loss keeps moving according to how they feel, right? So what I would rather you approach it as is once you go through the 5 steps, you analyze your trade, you realize why you want to enter a trade or why you, what trade you want to get into, look at putting your stop loss where it should be. It might be big, but if it's where it should be, it's probably going to be very unlikely to hit. So normally we put our stop loss above the resistance level. So for example, if it's above resistance level, resistance line is going to protect the stop loss from being hit. So once it goes near the resistance line, hey, if it doesn't turn back down, it's likely to hit my stop loss, I better get out. At that situation, you're less likely to move your stop loss higher or to worry about stop loss so much. You have it there, it's fixed already. We're looking at a trade where we think at most likely 70% of the time it's going to go towards my profit level. Then we can focus more on it going to profit rather than focus on when we want to move our stop loss higher or lower. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Okay, so what I'll be doing from now on, every session, I'll start picking on individuals, right? So make sure you have your mics on. If you don't have a mic on, make sure you got your headphones on as well so that you can answer. If not, I have to keep picking on the same people. I will keep picking on the same people, but it's just bad luck for them then. All right. So this was a bit longer than I expected, but I really covered quite a bit of information today. I really hope that if you didn't catch on to a lot of things I've been rambling on about quite quickly, you check back on the videos. The videos are all there for you to watch. If you have any questions on the videos, please leave it in the comments. I can't figure out how to turn on YouTube comments yet, so leave it in my Facebook post or leave it in any way you see the videos and I'll get back to you. Okay, last question from Michelle is, when is a good time to enter currencies? It's always a good time, Michelle. It's always a good time when you follow the 5 steps and the 5 steps tell you that it's a reasonable time to buy or sell, you get into a trade. I don't actually look, when I'm trading, I don't actually look at my watch. I don't have a watch on because I'm at home. I don't look at my watch to tell me, hey, it's 2 o'clock, it's a good time to enter pound, or it's 3 o'clock, it's a good time to enter euro. I don't look at my clock here. I look at the 5 steps. Well, I go through the 5 steps in my head, and then it tells me whether I should be getting into a trade or not. So I try to minimize the things I think about before I enter a trade. Just leave it to the 5 steps, get into a trade, make the money, get out. All right. I missed out Tommy's one. I like a session to look at one pair to analyze if it's a good time to entry or what needs to happen to enter. Tommy, we won't do a session on that. I would look forward to you posting all your questions in the Facebook group, in the Facebook private group. You know, every time you find a pair that you want to get into, post it up. Daniel will be there to answer your questions. And then once he starts pinging up questions, I'll see on my phone, I'll answer questions as well. All right, so use that group, put up your questions there. Bless you, Robbie. You know, and then we can answer all the questions in there as well. So in the meantime, trade safe, don't revenge trade. If you revenge trade, watch my video that you will see floating around on Facebook now. If you like it, share it as well. And then I'll catch up with you all tomorrow talking about yen and also gold. Take care now. Bye-bye.